football is a crazy, extreme sport, and what happened with Tua is just an example. That was one of the more brutal hits I've seen on a player in a long, long time. I had more of the chills this time than I did even with Dane Jackson 2 weeks ago. That was bad, seeing a neck, but then seeing him get ragdolled to the turf like that and then carried out on a stretch with his hands crossed. It was an intense little while until we heard. I mean, you could even see Fitzpatrick, who loves this guy, and you could see this guy was getting worked up. And Gonzalez, Tony Gonzalez, great guy, man. You could feel these two guys really feeling for Tua. And I think that was and I got to give huge credit to the Bengals fans for cheering for him. That was classy. But this was a bad, bad hit. Thankfully, though, like I said, he's going home with the team. It's nothing permanent. Head and neck trauma. We'll see when that, gets healed and get back in the saddle. Just got to pray for him, pray for his family. And, this whole talk about the misdiagnosis of concussion the week before, who knows? To me, it looked that way. Team says no. Tua says no. But if this is true and somehow that gets exposed, it's going to be a major blowback. But we have to believe what Tua said right now and the team said right now is a back injury. Looks can be deceiving. Prayerfully, that's not the case because you don't want two major concussions. 2 concussions in that short period of time. So let's pray that's not the case. Let's pray for this kid to get healthy. And that's going to be all the talk. That's going to be the talk. But what should be the talk is the 3-0 Dolphins, after a brutal meat grinder game on a short week with their whole practice being recorded, loads of injuries, went in to the defending AFC champs and played them tooth and nail, even with their starting quarterback down. They showed so much heart. I have more respect for this team this week than I even did last week. And I think these 2 weeks sandwiched together, and you could even talk about the comeback in with the Ravens. These 3 weeks, I'd say, are probably the most proud I've been of this organization in a long, long time. Now, some people don't believe in context. They say it's excuses. I get that, but excuses to explain away a failure. Context is to show the effort within the right context to understand the performance. And for me, this team is a good team. And when you go look through this again, you're going to see, the Bengals, they got their issues, and I'll get into that. Dolphins took advantage of it. I think the Dolphins outcoached the Bengals this week, and they outcoached the Bills last week, and they outcoached the Ravens the week before, and they outcoached at least half the team week 1 with Patricia. I still think Belichick did a masterful plan. So basically, through 3.5 games, I don't think they outcoached Frazier really, except for that one bad play. So I'll give it 3 full games. Half one game, 1 full game, half one game, and a full game this week. They outcoached the opposition. It's not disrespect to Cincinnati. They won. They came up big. But I'm going to get into all that stuff later. But I am so proud of this team, the players, and even the direction of this team despite this awful moment and the loss. So, going to get into the whole deal, what I saw. I'm not going to make it too long because it's plainly obvious, I think. But fans should be extremely happy. McDaniel is a good coach, good offensive coordinator, and Boyer is showing his stuff. This is underneath this darkness of Tua's injury and the loss, there's some good roots building some real good stuff. Now, there's some things, obviously, we got to go forward and see how it plays out, but I am very impressed. Before I get into all that, though, I want to give a shout out to you guys for stopping by. I know it's late, so I'm grateful for you guys stopping by for the likes, the subscribes, the views, the comments, especially the comments. I'm still working, catching up on the comments. I think I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm fried. I mean, my son, my daughter watched this week, And we were all just poised on the TV. My daughter was biting her fingernails because she's like, the Dolphins going to lose, the Dolphins going to lose. It was an emotional game, so I think I'm going to take tomorrow off. But thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Just want to give you a shout out to Ace Per Head, my sponsor, because without you guys and without them, the show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. Dolphins, they were in the pits last year, and look where they are now. And Hill and Waddle and McDaniel and Tehran and Connor, even guys like Sherfield, Ingold, Mostert, Edmond, they've breathed life into this offense, and so far the defense has kept its pace, even without Byron Jones. Now, Bengals, congratulations to the fans and the team for winning. But as an objective football guy, I have to say I am highly concerned about the direction for the team. This offensive line of the Bengals is atrocious. And to me, Zach Taylor, I liked what I saw him last year. This year, he just seems so stubborn. I don't like his offense. I don't like his obstinance. It just looks lost way too much, and he's riding some great receiving talent, and he's riding Burrow. Now, I think he would look a lot better with a better offensive line. There's no doubt. But he doesn't seem to be making the adjustments and being as diverse and flexible as he needs to be to compensate. And Burrow was just, he looked great on that opening drive. I'm like, okay, they got it. There was a lot of mixtures in there going, and then all of a sudden, now there's some big plays, and ultimately they won, but I am a little concerned. So, I want to give them a shot before I get to my Dolphins. Higgins, what an amazing game the guy had. I mean, these guys got 3 stars at receiver. And then Logan Wilson, linebacker, man, he is good. I'd like to have one of those guys on my team. I mean, they played pretty well today, all linebackers, but he's a really good player. But again, that offensive line and Zach Taylor, man, oof. But they're 2-2 now, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go. We're 3-1. Now, for us, I just see positive after positive after positive. Now, it's not to say that there aren't concerns. Obviously, you could see Little. You saw Eichenberg, floundering, But when you look at Ingram still coming, still playing strong, still contributing, that first part, the pressure he brought. And then, thankfully, Jalen Phillips really started to show some stuff. Still not in the run game. He's still not there at all in the run game. But he was able to take advantage of this offensive line, some really beautiful plays to get some pressure. And he had his best game of the season, although one-dimensional, and this is good news for us. So both these players were good standouts and really contributed to making this a really close game. And it was the pressure. And, Dolphins fans need to really look and go, hey, this offense just went to the Super Bowl. This guy's a really good quarterback with these great weapons. And look how pedestrian he looked at times for most of the night. It goes back to the offensive line, and that offensive line is garbage. Now, Wilkins and Sealer helped them make these guys look like garbage. They're unbelievable, and it just keeps pushing my mind to us going to a 4-3 and having these two guys as 3 tech DTs, because I think they would be unbelievable. Such good players. They dominated up and down the line. They were inside, outside, all over the place. Wilkins, he's got to be taken care of long-term, and so is Sealer. Both these guys are unbelievable. So they really, really just, after playing last week, to come back to play like this, unbelievable. Now, the secondary played so well. Howard, you could see he was gimped. He wasn't himself. And I've been saying that for a while, that is a lingering thing. And groin issues can be a problem. He was taken out of the game. You saw Amelia started having much easier time. I don't know what that means. He's got time off. Maybe he can come back. I don't think he'll be 100% all season. I don't see it. I mean, possible. But to get pulled out of the game like this, that groin injury is kind of lingering, and it's notoriously slow to recover from. But even still, look how good he played like that. So I think the 9 days off will be good. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And Byron Jones should be coming back soon, so that's great news. But this secondary looked phenomenal in so many ways. And Kohu, I'm going to do the film study, and he's going to make it a good one. Yeah, he got beat on a touchdown. And all that was a beautiful move, that in and out. I mean, that was like, that was electrifying. I can't fault that guy for not getting that all night long, though. It looked for me in the live film, he had a really good night. I'm very interested in doing a study on him. Very impressive. Needham, that deep pass to Chase, I don't know how that wasn't called pass interference. I mean, before the ball gets there, you're hitting the guy in the arms and you're not even looking at the ball. I don't understand the refs. Maybe I got to look at it again. Refs suck, honestly. Sherfield, what a big night this guy had. This team has players all over the joint. And, you had the drop TD to Edmonds. That could have changed things. Tua threw that long pass that was a pick. That's going to happen. Not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but you could see when he was in, yes, Teddy had his moments and stuff like that. But ultimately, once the defense kind of started figuring things out, they started constricting him, and he looked good and then went back to pedestrian. Tua, you could feel that, yeah, he made that mistake, but this offense was about ready to break things open. McDaniel is so good. He's doing such a great job, guys. And, I kept saying in my lead up to this, to prep, inside runs, and he was attacking the inside. And that played such a big deal as later exposing everything else. He attacks everything at every sector, and he doesn't leave anything untouched. And he hasn't for 2 or 3 games now. I really, really like this guy as a coach as far as the offensive coordinator. We'll see what happens in the long term if he hits the tough times, how he holds the team together. But so far, now, we were sloppy, and I think the missed tackles played a big part early on, especially. A lot of penalties, a lot of missed tackles, and that kind of gave a little juice to the Bengals. And, again, it goes to this defensive effort. We've missed tackles all year, but we haven't had penalties. And the two combined allowed them only to have 14 points by the end of the first half after that Bills game. I can't extol this defense and the heart behind it anymore than I could talk for the next half an hour, just say the same thing. But this was an unbelievable performance. Now, what's going to happen with Tua? I don't know. How bad's the neck? How bad's the concussion? But even still, I think with Teddy, we do have the edge over the Jets. If they bring Zach Wilson back, he hasn't played. So it looks like we have a little bit of leeway before we get into a tougher team. And this is good news for our fortunes going forward. 3-1 now, likely with the Jets. You don't want to count anything out. I got to do the studies and all that stuff. But 4-1 after week 5. Allow Tua to get healthy and to build this thing back. Bring Byron Jones back. Howard to get healthy. And I think we're really in great position, guys. So we did lose, but the direction to me is still pointing up. We just got to pray that Tua will be back sooner rather than later, because I think it's pretty clear now this kid is a difference maker, and he changes what can happen here. So this is Curtis saying, wild ride. Is this first 4 games have been one wild ride, haven't they? I mean, real wild ride. Great for me, in a sense, aside from the Tua thing, because I had all 3 of my kids wanting to watch. Literally wanting to watch. My son was watching the whole game, and because he was watching, my daughter came in and my youngest son, and it was. I just wish Tua could have been healthy, even if we lost. So, Curtis saying, thanks for staying to the end. Please like, comment, subscribe. Comments mean the most. Guys, things are looking good for the most part. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. And Tua, get healthy. Feel better, brother. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.